welcome to the Purlsbeforethyme knitting podcast. I'm Elise. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. It means a lot that you're here. So today I thought I'd share my yarn stash with you. So it's behind me. I'm not in my normal filming spot. I used to film in front of my shelves, but then I moved and the lighting isn't optimal in front of these shelves. But here we are. This is the stash. Some people might think this is small. Some people might think this is overwhelming and huge. I am on a kind of no buy at the moment generally. I have exceptions, but this year I think I've been quite good. So far this year I haven't bought a whole lot of yarn. I've bought, from what I can see here, I bought these skeins, and I think there's some other yarn. Yeah, this. So that's not too bad for nearly 5 months into the year, or 4 months into the year finished. For me, I've had phases where I buy a lot more than that. So I'm trying to just work through my stash this year as one of my main goals. So hopefully I succeed partially, or, you know, get rid of some of the stuff here, and then I can actually get some new things in, have some new inspiration. So as you can see, there's a lot of different yarn types, yarn colors, yarn weights. So yeah, why don't I just get started? There's not a real organization in terms of like anything. There's generally, this is summery stuff. Generally, there's a lot of mohair up here. But otherwise I kind of just shove like a whole project next to itself. So let's just start with the thing that I feel like dominates at the moment, which is, this is the other danger of having a wall of yarn with things in it, is it will fall on you. So that will go there. Anyway, so this is Alpaca 3 by Isaga. I have a sweater quantities worth, and this has a plan. It's going to be the Paris sweater by Helga Isaga. I got this on sale, which is why I have so much of it. It was like 50% off, which is a great deal for Isaga because Isaga is generally quite expensive. I thought it was because this color was going to be out of stock, but it wasn't. It still exists. So I don't know. This is shade 39 and it's kind of like pink. It's it's pink. It's a bright-ish pink. Bright for me, at least. It's not like neon. I'm not at a neon stage yet. I see a lot of people on Instagram, like Ara's Nuts and Pearls, and they go really neon pink, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not ready for that. So this is kind of more of a muted pink for me. So that's that whole section. Let's just take a random treasure. This is my favorite skein in my stash, and it's green. I love green. It is hand spun by Ravelry. She is a Angora yarn producer, so she spins and knits, and this is 50% Angora rabbit and 50% sheep. It's called a Steiger sheep, which is I think it's a Norwegian sheep breed, and it is so soft. Like the Angora definitely dominates, and I just like taking this and holding it. The problem is this was the only skein that looked anything like this when I bought it, and I have, this is 240 meters per 100 grams, and this is 93 grams. So that means I have like 100 meters of this thing, and I don't know what to make with 100 meters of yarn. I think some kind of scarf is going to be the best thing, but let me know. Like, this is also part of this video, is I kind of want to pick your brains as to like what I should do with some of these things. So do you have any good patterns for 100 yards with about 20 stitches in 10 centimeters, but that's not so serious. But yeah, this is my favorite. So that can go back in its little corner. What I really like about how I've done this is it's kind of a sensory wall, so I can just go and hold things. I'm quite a tactile person in that way. So here I have a lot of mohair, silk mohair. it's in a lot of blue shades. Some of it's left over from projects. So I have some left over from this cardigan, which is my balloon cardigan by Petite Knit. And I made this maybe 3 or 4 years ago, like 2021. It was one of my first garment projects and I wear it all the time. I love it so much. It's done in 1 strand of knitting for olive merino and 1 strand of Isaga silk mohair. And a lot of the time I find a lot of patterns, especially when I was a beginner, they would often tell you to buy a lot more yarn than you needed. So I'd have a lot of leftover mohair in particular. So this is a lot of leftover mohair, and my plan with it was to make the heirloom quilt cardigan, which I still want to do. I've made 1 square, but that's why I have a lot of sort of blue mohair here to remind me to make that. And I want to hold it together with Isaga tweed, which I have a whole lot of different colors of here. So this section is the heirloom quilt cardigan to be section. And then I have a lot of various sort of mohair shades here. This is something that is very precious to me. I have 4 balls of this Tilia in the shade 38. And I've had this for a couple of years and I really want to find a good pattern for this. And I don't want to hold it together with anything else. I want it to be a pure mohair project. Because it's overly sentimental and silly, but no, so Mr. Purlsbeforethyme, I guess, when we first started dating, when we were together for maybe 3 or 4 months, he went to Denmark, he sailed to Denmark, and then he came back and he was like, oh, I bought you some yarn. And I was like, oh, okay, that's really lovely. And he bought me these beautiful balls of Tilia, and I was just so happy, and I don't know what to do with them. I keep finding beautiful patterns and then being very hesitant. So that means I have 840 meters of mohair, silk mohair. So if you have any patterns that you think, oh, that would go really well with this, please comment down below and help me. I have thought of making like a kind of lightweight, airy sort of jumper that's like sort of see-through and goes over the top of things. So that was an initial plan with this, but I'm still not 100%. So that's that very precious Tilia. I do have layers, so there's actually stuff behind here. So this is some hand-dyed Norwegian wool that I dyed with avocados that I'm going to use for something, but I'm not sure yet. The other thing about this stash is I shove little swatches in it. So I know some people wouldn't want to store their yarn like this because it's out in the open and exposed and, you know, there's high risks of things. I haven't had a problem so far. I do make sure to like clean it out and dust it every now and then. So I do that. But what I do to keep insects away is I take swatches from old projects, and I have a bottle of a mixture of cedar oil and water, and I just shake that up and I spray these, and then they really smell of cedar, and that is apparently a very good deterrent. But I haven't had any problems yet with any insects. So throughout this stash you will find little swatches tucked away here and there with that. So these 2 skeins of yarn, I can pull them out actually. Yep. Ooh. There we go. So these 2 are 400 yards of fingering merino and 400 yards of silk mohair. And these are the only yarn I've ever won in a giveaway. So this was a giveaway that Sari Nordlund did. Oh, I think end of 2021, end of 2022. It was an end of year thing at least. And it was if you made a hat in December, I think. And I made one of her berets. And I think it was in one of her knitting group on Ravelry threads somewhere. If you posted a picture, you would just be entered to win a giveaway. And I won. And this came all the way from America, which was exciting. And the funny thing with it was I was so excited to win this. I went to pick it up at the post office and they were like, oh, you need to pay import tax. And I was like, but I haven't paid for it. Like, they're like, yeah, but it says $50 on the thing. And I'm like, but I didn't pay $50. I got it for free. And they're like, no, you still need to pay import tax on it. And I was like, it was a gift, but no. So this is my beautiful yarn that I got almost for free, but I still had to pay import tax on. But this is also yarn I don't know what to do with. It's beautiful. I'm thinking a small shawl, or because I want to use all of it or as much as possible, whereas I feel like a hat wouldn't use as much as I want. So if you have any good 400 yards of DK projects, I do go on Ravelry and search all the time, but I want to know what you guys think. That's why I'm asking. I do spend a lot of time going through Ravelry, changing gauges and how much yarn I have to see what I can use. So these are beautiful. The shade is called Oakworm, and it's, yeah, a very nice sort of muted red shade that I haven't actually made anything with this kind of color before. So I'm excited for that at some point. And then here I have 5 skeins of woolen twine roots, 4-ply that I got, and that's going to be a shawl. The thing is with this lighting is that these 2 skeins and these 2 skeins are actually different colors, and it's really hard to see, even in like, unless you put it like in complete, like right next to a window, you can see quite well, but otherwise you can't. So I'm actually feeling a bit more hesitant about my decision to do color work with very similar shades, because I feel like if you don't have enough contrast, you're not going to see it. So I've kind of thought I might wait till she has a different shade release and get a darker shade of 4-ply and then do something else with 2 of these. We'll see. That's the plan. And then here I have a summer top quantity of Markagarn, which is from Oslo Microspinnery. It's a wool linen blend. And for summer yarns, honestly, my preferred type of summer yarn to work with and to wear, well, not, yeah, to wear is a blend. I've had things that are pure linen and things that are pure cotton and things that are pure silk, but I find wearing something with a bit of wool in it gives it a bit more stretch. It does keep you warm and breathable, but it's not like hot, which is very nice. So my best summer tops are made in like Sunless Garn Duo, which is cotton and wool blend, which I really like. So this is Markagarn, and I've been I had this on my list for a while to make the Skagen top by Vitre Design, and I think I still want to do that. It's like a little V-neck t-shirt with buttons down the front, so it's just like working stockinette flat for quite a while with some shaping and cute little t-shirts, sleeves. So that's this little part of my stash. And then here we have little yarn treasures from Garnbar. Garnbar I've spoken about before, and she is a Norwegian yarn dyer and designer and overall very creative, cool person. Like, she's an artist basically. And so she dyed a load of yarn and I bought some. So I have 2 different things from her. This is a very special yak silk merino blend, and it's got all of these beautiful pastel shades in it. It's got like some yellow and some pink and some purple, and so this is going to probably be a shawl, a lightweight shawl. And then this is all, I'll show you what a skein looks like. This is all lammull, which is very lightweight, so light fingering lamb's wool, and this really fun pastel orange lilac-y green combo. I think this is going to be really fun for like a Norwegian traditional sweater with a contrast color, so I think that's what I want to do with this. I like having yarn and then thinking of all the things I can make with it, and it takes a long time for me to really decide what I'm going to make. So This is Garnbar. She calls herself a yarn sommelier, which I think is like the coolest thing. I wish I'd thought of that, you know? So yeah, if you want to have some really cool hand-dyed yarn, definitely check her out. I do have a code for her, which is EMDO15, which means you get 15% off if you buy from her. So this isn't sponsored, I'm just letting you know. I do have a code for her. And that yarn was bought with a substantial discount. So that's kind of the highlights from Top Shelf. And then this is Bottom Shelf. I've already talked about this, but anyway, so we have some pure silk from Featherfin yarn. So Featherfin yarn is also independent dyer. I think she's based in Germany, I'm not sure. But I have wanted to make some, like pure silk comes in a lot of different forms, and like this top I just finished it yesterday. It's the Pie Camisole by Crea Dia Studios, and this is in pure silk from Knitting for Olive. It's barrette silk. And it's not shiny really, it's a little bit matte, and it feels very different to like this type of silk, which is much more like shiny and soft and slippery. This one's not at all slippery. When you work with Knitting for Olive silk, it's much more like working with a cotton yarn, so it's quite a hard yarn. So these are different silks, and I've got quite a few different patterns that I think I want to do with this. I've actually got 2 more of these, but they're caked, and I've got them in this sort of ballet pink, which is very nice. And then I have just a sort of off-white version as well. So these I was actually about to cast on something and I didn't, that's why they're caked. I'll just put these things down here for now. A lot of these things are currently in whips. So this is an extra skein of Isaga Trio one, which I'm making into a high or a hay tee by Egg Your Knit. So that's what this is. This is all yarn for a Monaco vest that I'm also currently making. So this is linen from Isaga in, I think this is, the shade is called Camel. It's this nice brown color. This is linen, pure linen, so it's just very hard and stiff, but when you work with mohair together, it ends up being quite soft. So that's what this little stash is here. This yarn also has a little story behind it, which is I really wanted to buy this yarn, and then it someone just had 7 skeins that they were selling on Finn, which is I guess Norway's equivalent of like Craigslist. And I actually ran to their house to get it. And I was like, I need to have a good like justification to get this yarn. And they were like, oh, they live 14 kilometers away. I'm gonna run there. And I ran 14 kilometers to this person's house to buy some yarn, and then I got the bus home. So that was a little adventure that I had to things I do for yarn, you know, a bit obsessed. Yeah, otherwise fun yarn we have. There's some silk here from Knitting for Olive, which has some plans. This is nettle sock yarn, which I have yet to try. It is from Onion, and it is 70% wool and 30% nettle fibers, and it's really soft and nice. I don't know if I'm going to use it for socks. I have 2 of these, so it's just cool yarn. I got this in England a while ago when I was there. So that's, that. And then I have a whole lot, that all of this is alpaca silk from, now it's even more precious because the person who dyed it is no longer a yarn dyer. So it's from a dyer called Old Maiden Aunt, and she's a Scottish lady called Lilith, I think. And I remember when I lived in London, I first got into crochet and I went to Loop, which is this really fancy yarn store. And I just saw this and I touched it and I was like, this is what I need in my life. And I got lots of different colors and I used quite a lot of it for, let me show you. I made this, I was going to do a whole temperature blanket, but it got this far. It's in a sort of little seashell pattern. And this is, you know, it's a bit of an odd color combination. I don't think I would do this now. It was started as a temperature blanket, but it's so soft, and it's honestly one of my favorite like little lap blankets that I own, that I've made. I'm so proud of it. I have not woven in the ends. It adds rustic charm. So, yeah, but anyway, this is my stash of leftovers from this blanket, as well as sort of nearly unused shades from Lilith. Some of it's in little balls, that's why they all fall out. So they're just such gorgeous colors. This one's called Pumpkin. I don't remember the names of these. This green is gorgeous. It's so nice. I don't know exactly if other people or other dyers use this exact base of alpaca silk, but it is honestly one of the nicest blends of alpaca silk ever, and the colors that Lilith made are stunning. You can't really get them anymore, so I love them so much. But yeah, that's my lovely little old Maiden Aunt section. So otherwise, I have other discontinued treasures. So I have a whole hank, and then a little bit less than one of, it's called Alpaca Color from Rowan, and this is, I think it's baby alpaca, if I'm honest. It's so soft. Yeah, it says made with baby alpaca, so I think it's 100% baby alpaca in a slightly variegated blue, and then a sort of reddishy pinky variegation here. So those live here, and I think they might be a hat or something at some point. So yeah, that is a lot of my stash. And then here I also have some, also from Featherfin yarn. This is for a design project that I'm thinking of called, it's gonna be a shawl, I think. I haven't got a name yet. But anyway, it is cashmerino, and it is in this beautiful, beautiful violet. So I have a shawl quantity of this, and I'm very excited to make something with that. So I think that's kind of a good overview of most of everything that I have at the moment. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any pattern suggestions for me, please let me know. If you do want to follow me on Instagram, all the details for that are down below. I haven't been very good at posting pictures recently. I post more stories because they're a bit quicker. But yeah, I love watching other people's yarn stash videos, and that's why I thought I'd share mine. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.